Yes, so beginning as you wish. In child's pose, you can begin seated, you can begin on your back, but you might close your eyes and just take a moment to focus your attention, your awareness into your body. And we can check in with specific parts of our body, as in the jaw, right? Often we're holding tension in our jaw, so we just check in there, relax any tension in your jaw. You can relax into your neck, your shoulders, right? Relax into your arms if you're holding any tension in your arms or your belly or maybe your legs. And just begin to feel into the palms of the hands, the soles of the feet. Feel into the front of your body, the back of your body, the sides of your body. And we're just kind of cultivating this mind-body connection as we focus our attention from the external world into our physical bodies. And then we begin to cultivate the breath, breathing in through the nose and out through the nose here. And we begin to just slow the breath down. Your inhales are a little bit fuller than what you might unconsciously do. Your exhales, we want to be slower than your inhales. Right? So you might count as you breathe in, 2, 3, 4, 5, wherever you come to, and then breathe out, 2, 3, 4, 5, and breathe out a little longer than your inhale. Right? So you might go to a 6 or 7. Right? We'll spend a few moments here. Right, and we just keep coming back. Your attention might wander into thinking again, or into the future, or into the past. And in that process, you might stop breathing, and you might start contracting again in the jaw, or the neck, or the shoulders. Right? So you just spend maybe 2 or 3 more breaths here, just cultivating the breath and focusing our attention, and cultivating this mind-body connection. And so last breath where you are. And then we'll begin to make our way into a table. So we'll come onto our hands and knees. And we'll begin with some cat-cow breaths. And this begins to just open up through the whole body. So we'll ground through the hands and the knees. As you inhale, you can lower the belly a bit. Lift your head and tailbone up. As you exhale, we'll tuck the chin, tuck the tailbone, lifting up through the back. We'll do this a few more times. Breathing in. The belly lowers a bit. We lift up through head and tailbone. And then exhale, tuck your chin, tuck your tailbone, lift up through your back. So a few more rounds like this. You can close your eyes if you like, focusing your attention back into the body, feeling what happens as you're moving. So feel into your neck and your shoulders, your back, your wrists. You can stay with this movement, or you might take some circles. You might come back towards a child's pose. Again, just cultivating this mind-body connection as we begin to feel and more into our bodies. Right? So maybe another round or 2 of breath. And then after that, we'll settle into a child's pose. So usually the big toes touch, knees can maybe go a little bit wider. You might be able to take the forehead to the ground, or maybe you rest it on your arms. But again, we relax into the neck, relax the jaw, relax the shoulders. Even in the belly here, allow the belly to kind of drop between the legs, and then we come back to breath, right? We breathe in slowly, we breathe out more slowly, and this rhythm is calming for our nervous systems, right? When we slow the exhale down, we move ourselves out of the fight, flight, stress response, right? We move our bodies into the rest, relax, repair when we slow the exhale down, right? So one more breath in your child's pose. Nice long, slow exhales, and then with your next in-breath, we'll come back up into table. And then downward dog as you exhale, just for a couple breaths. You can pedal the feet out if you like. Right? We're opening up through the shoulders as well. Make sure that the neck is relaxed and you're not lifting the head up. Right? And maybe another breath or 2, consciously moving the breath. Slow breaths in, slow breaths out. Good. One more round of breath in your downward dog. And then with your next inhale, we'll bring the knees back down to the mat. And come into your child's pose again as you exhale. Right, so hips back towards the heels. We return to where we just were, and we again feel into the body. What's different here? Maybe more sensations in your hands or your wrists. Maybe some sensations in the chest as you can feel your heartbeat. And maybe tingling in your toes. And there's nothing right or wrong to feel, but it's a matter of focusing back into body and feeling, right? And just this mental practice of not necessarily thinking or doing or the mind working, but just coming into being and feeling. Right, so last breath here, and then we'll get into some side body stuff. So we'll walk the hands over to the right, and we'll stretch and lengthen into the left side body. So you can breathe deep into underneath the armpits, maybe into the chest space, right? And then as you exhale, your exhales are slower, and maybe you relax a little bit of contraction somewhere in the upper body or the lower body. Good, last breath there. And then with your next inhale, you can walk your hands through center and then over to the left as you exhale. This will move the stretch into the right side of the body. And again, you might close your eyes, right? Breathe in consciously, breathe out consciously, feeling what happens as you exhale. Good. With your next round of breath, you can come back into center. Just take a moment here in the center. Good. And we'll come back up into table with our inhale. And once again, downward dog as you exhale. This time we'll take a breath or so, just pedaling the feet out. And then we'll move into a standing forward fold. So you can walk or step or hop your feet to the top of the mat, coming into a standing forward fold. And then as we inhale, we'll lift up halfway. So we want to engage through the upper back as we pull the shoulder blades together. But then as you exhale, relax your neck and your shoulders. And we'll do that again. As you inhale, we'll lift up halfway. And then exhale as you fold. And you might even keep your knees bent a bit. Right, one more time. Inhale, halfway up, lengthening the spine. And then exhale as you fold and relax your neck and shoulders. This time we'll spend a couple breaths here. So you might even bend your knees more and cross your hands into your elbows for what we call ragdoll. And this, again, often we think this is a hamstring stretch, but sometimes it's better to release the hamstrings by bending the knees, and then we get more of a stretch into our backs, which is usually where most of our problems are, right? It's actually lower back tension, which causes the hamstrings to feel tight, right? So one more breath in your fold, right? Slow breaths in, slower breaths out. And then you can release your arms and nice and slowly roll up to stand. And you might keep your eyes closed and feel into the back. Feel the stretch move all the way up your spine. You can keep your chin tucked as you come up, so we stretch the neck as well. And then we just pause at the top and we take a moment to feel, right? Knowing that this practice is really, really healthy for our minds, to come into the body and just feel what we feel. And we'll do what we call a half salutation. So you begin in your mountain pose, nice and grounded in your feet, hip distance, toes forward, right? And then as you inhale, we'll reach our arms overhead. Forward fold as you exhale, kind of like a swan dive, and you can bend your knees if you like. We'll lift up halfway with the inhale, flat back, and then exhale as you fold, relax your neck and shoulders. And then it's a flat back to rise all the way up to stand, reaching your arms overhead, and bring your hands to your heart as you exhale. We'll do that again. As you breathe in, we'll reach both arms overhead. Forward fold as you exhale. Halfway lift as you inhale, flat back here. And then exhale as you fold, relax your neck and shoulders. Flat back to stand as you inhale, your arms all the way up. Hands to your heart as you exhale. Good. Again, we'll pause here. You might even close your eyes, but come into the body. Notice your heartbeat. Notice the sensations in your shoulders, your hands, your legs, your feet. Good. And then as you inhale, we'll reach both arms overhead. Forward fold as you exhale. Halfway lift as you breathe in. And we'll bring our hands to the mat this time with our exhale. So you can bend your knees, get your hands to the ground, and we'll step back to plank, breathing in, and then lower all the way down to the ground as you exhale. Good. We're going to come into a Sphinx pose. So we'll come onto the forearms, and this will stretch into the front of the body. So you can choose how much, if you want to bring your hands, your elbows in more, if you want to take them out farther, right? But we're pressing down to the forearms, kind of lifting the heart up. And this should stretch. And if you want, you can lift the chin, but try not to drop in the back of the neck. Right? Take one more breath here. And then you can lower down. Right? And we'll get into some shoulder stretches. So first, just take a moment. You might rest your cheek on the mat. You might even take a moment, switch your hips side to side. And then we'll take the right arm out, right side, shoulder height, palm facing down. And you'll bring your left hand under your left shoulder. You'll press into your left hand to roll to your right side. So we're opening up through the chest, through the shoulder space. Here, I'll do it this way so you can see better. Yeah, and if you want to, that top leg can bend. You can place the sole of the foot in the ground. You can take your top arm, reach it back, right, adding a stretch on that side. Or not, right? But 2 more breaths. Right? Relax your neck, relax your jaw, consciously move the breath in. And then move it out more slowly. Good, 1 more round of breath here. And then we'll come back into the center, and we'll take another moment in the center. Again, you might make yourself comfortable. You might find stillness. Maybe you switch the hips side to side or the feet side to side. Right? But then we'll switch sides. So it'll be your left arm out shoulder height, palm facing down. Right? And you'll bring your right hand under your right shoulder, pressing into it to roll to your left side. And that top leg can adjust, the top arm can adjust. Right? But we want to be stretching into the left shoulder, maybe even the chest, the neck. Make sure, again, neck and jaw are relaxed. Breath continues to move. Maybe 2 more breaths here. Slower exhales. Good. Last breath. And then you can come back to the center. And again, take a moment there in the center. And you might just find stillness. You might take a little movement, but notice what you feel. Good. We'll bring our hands back under our elbows. And we'll press back into a table. And we'll come back to our cat-cow breaths. Right, so grounding into your hands. As you inhale, you can lower through the belly, lift the head and tailbone, and then exhale. Really tuck your chin, press down through the hands as you come into the cat variation. Again, we'll breathe in. This is the cow variation where we lift the head and tailbone, and then exhale where we tuck the chin, tuck the tailbone, really lifting through the back. Do one more like that. Full breath in, full breath out. Good, and then a neutral spine as you inhale, and downward dog as you exhale. And we'll take maybe 2 breaths here in our downward dogs, and your choice if you want to pedal your feet out or if you just want stillness, but be sure, again, neck is relaxed, opening through the chest and the heart space. And then from here, let's lift the right foot up towards the sky as you inhale, and we'll step the foot to the top of the mat with the exhale. Let's come into a crescent. So we'll stay on the toes of the back foot, and we'll lift the arms overhead. And we begin to open up into the hips a bit. We'll add in shoulders, bringing the hands behind the back. You can interlace your fingers if you like or reach for your elbows. But just take a nice full breath in here. Slower breath out. Good. Inhale as you lift your arms up overhead. And then take your left hand down to the ground as you exhale. Right hand opens up to the sky. So hips, adding a little bit of twist. If you rotate and open your shoulder up towards the skies, can begin to again open up through the chest and the heart space. All right, one more breath in here. And then both hands down as you exhale. Let's lower the back knee down. And we'll come into another hamstring stretch. So back toes will untuck. And then we'll shift our weight backwards. So we're stretching into the hamstrings on the right side, but also stretching into the back. So be sure you're not contracted in your upper back and your neck. Allow the shoulders to kind of round forward a bit. Allow the head to drop a bit. And then move the breath slowly in, more slowly out. Relax the jaw. Okay, one more breath here. Good, and then we'll lift the heart up and we'll shift our weight forward again. We'll come into a low lunge, so the back knee will stay grounded, right, and we'll sink the hips down. Your choice what you do with your hands, right? You can bring the hands to the ground. You may lift them up to the knee. You might even lift them up to the sky or bring them behind your back again, adding the shoulder stretch. But I want to get a little bit more into the front of the left hip here, right? So right, if you lift your upper body and you move out of that stretch, then it might be better to keep the hands down. Right, so slow the breath, right, one more inhale, slow, long exhale, good, and then hands will come down, and then we'll switch sides in a moment, so you can come out of this, take a few breaths to do whatever you want. You may come back to those cat-cow breaths, you might come into a flow, right, a downward dog, you might just rest in a child's pose, right, so your choice here, but introspection is really important, coming into the energy of the body, noticing what you feel, maybe some organic or somatic movements or not, right? Stillness works too. But after that, we come back into our downward dogs, and then we'll switch sides, but we take a moment in our downward dogs first to be here, right? To pull our awareness into the body and into the present. So we feel into the hands, the feet, the neck, the jaw, the arms, legs. And then as you inhale, we'll lift the left foot up towards the sky. And we'll step to the top of the mat with the exhale. We'll find a crescent. So we stay on the toes of the back foot as we lift the arms overhead. Right, awakening balance here a bit too, but opening into the front of the hip. And then we'll bring the hands behind the back. You can interlace your fingers if you like, or reach for your elbows. But we want to open up through the shoulders, through the heart space as well. Right, one more breath here. And then as you inhale, you can lift your arms overhead. And then take your right hand down to the ground as you exhale. And the left arm opens up towards the sky. So hips twist, right? And again, if we open the shoulder up, we can open up a bit the heart and the heart space. Right? So last breath here, and then both hands can come down as you exhale. We'll bring the back knee down and untuck the back toes. We'll shift the weight backwards so that we're stretching the left leg out, but we're also, again, stretching into the back. So, again, release any contraction that might be held in the neck and the shoulders. Allow the head to drop a bit. And then we have to consciously move the breath because it doesn't happen naturally. We want to hold the breath and tense up. So we breathe in slowly. We breathe out more slowly. Good. Last breath here. And then you can lift your heart up and shift your weight forward. And you're coming into a low lunge. And this is, again, to open up more into the front of the right hip. Right? So you can keep your hands down if you like. You can bring them up. Right? We want maybe lift the arms overhead or behind the back again. Your choice, but breathe wherever you are. In, out more slowly. Keep the face soft. Keep the shoulders relaxed, the jaw relaxed. Good. And then when you're ready, you can bring your hands down or come out of this. Again, several breaths to do whatever you would like. Right? And you can find movement. You can take stillness. I really recommend, if you're comfortable, close your eyes and just kind of, feel it out and know that that practice is really healthy for your mind, right? And thus the body. Once the mind kind of chills out, then the body chills out. It comes back to balance on its own. So, right, a moment or two to do whatever you like. And then after that, we meet in our downward dogs. And then once you're there, take a moment to be there. Right? Feel what you can feel in your body, using your body as a place to focus. And then we'll lift the right foot up towards the sky with an inhale. And let's bring the knee to the top of the mat with the exhale for our half pigeon stretch. So the knee comes by the right wrist, and then the foot can work towards the left wrist. Back knee comes down, and we want to scoot the hips down evenly without kind of shifting off to the side or out of the stretch. So the left hip is kind of pulling down. So we're opening up into the front of the left hip here as we kind of lift the heart up. Right? And then you can fold your upper body down, and you might bring your elbows to the ground. Right? You might rest your forehead on your hands or a block if you have it, or maybe the ground. Right? But this will be stretching into the whole right side of the body. So you might feel this, in the glute area, maybe the outside of the right leg, maybe even up into your back. Again, if you relax the neck, relax the shoulders, relax the jaw. Right? And then we move the breath in and out more slowly. And again, this taps into nervous system. It tells the body to chill, to relax, to calm. Right? Everything kind of slows down. One more breath where you are. And then again, you can come out and take several breaths to do as you wish. And you may not even be ready to come out. You might stay for another breath or two. Right? But we'll take a good 5 or so breaths before we switch sides. And again, this is really good space to just kind of explore, right? You might kind of stretch or, kind of move into something a little differently, or you might just find stillness. But this kind of introspection is so healthy for our brains, and thus our bodies. So, another moment or two to do as you wish. And then after that, we'll come back to downward dog. And again, we check in here. We feel into the hands, the feet, the arms, the legs, the jaw, the neck. Okay? We pull our attention here. And then it's the left foot to the sky with your inhale. And then the knee comes to the top of the mat with the exhale. We want the knee kind of on the left side of the mat. Foot works towards the right side. Back knee will lower. We'll scooch maybe that right leg back. And you might lift your heart up first, again, working into the front of the hips. If you sit a lot or drive a lot, this is, we need a lot more of this. It might not feel great, but we might need more of it. And then you can fold forward whenever you're ready. And that'll switch the stretch more so for the left side, right? And again, notice if you're contracted anywhere, say the hands or the jaw or the neck or the shoulders. Sometimes we hold contraction in our toes, and we don't need to. Right? We just release these areas of contraction, and then we move the breath in slowly, out more slowly. A couple more rounds here. Good, and then when you're ready, again, you can come out slowly. Feel what happens in your hips as you come out. Feel what happens in the mind and the heart and the toes, right? We just kind of notice what happens. Feel where the energy moves to. We begin to realize how things are connected, and maybe that pain that we have in our back is actually from this contraction in our neck, or maybe, this thing in our knees actually from our hip, or right? We kind of make these connections within our bodies. So when you're ready, we'll come back into our downward dogs. Just one more time, last downward dog here. And so you might bend your knees for this one and really sink your chest back towards your thighs, so getting into the upper back more. Okay, one more breath here. And then you can bring your knees down. We'll move into a seated posture. So you kind of swing your feet around to the side, and we'll come into a seated posture. A seated forward fold first, so extending both legs out. And as we inhale, we want to sit up tall again. Hinge forward as you exhale. Again, we likely are contracted. Like, this is what we do when we're stressed and we're tense. We contract our neck and our jaw and our shoulders. So we practice releasing that, and then we practice breathing. And as we keep the breath slow, we keep the mind slow. And as we slow the exhale, we tap into nervous system stuff, right? So it's a neurobiological effect. It changes the chemicals, the hormones within our bodies. We literally feel better in our bodies. Right? So one more breath in your fold. And then when you're ready, you can slowly lift your head back up. And again, a moment or two for yourself. And you might just keep your eyes closed. And it's a nice spot for neck stretches or some stillness. Good. This is a short class, so we're going to move to our backs from here. So coming to your back. And another thing, it's kind of hard to see, so you may need to adjust to the way that your phone is positioned, or way, but burn ladies are good. You have experience with this. Some of my yoga people, they're like, I can't see you anymore, but you may need to adjust your position or your device position once you come to your back. But hands will come to your knees, fingertips face your toes, really gentle movement called Apanasana. So as you inhale, we just straighten the arms, and then as you exhale, bend your elbows, gently bring your knees back into your chest. And then again, as you inhale, we slowly move the knees away, straightening the arms. As you exhale, even more slowly, bring your knees back into your chest. Good. One more time, you might close your eyes. Check in again with the jaw, with the feet, with the shoulders. And nice slow exhale, bringing the knees back. And then you can rest your hands and feet down to the ground. And then just take a moment there. Right? Notice any energy in your arms, your legs, your feet, your hands, your head. And we'll get into a hip stretch where we bring the soles of the feet together and open the knees out away from each other. So inner thighs and hips. And you can bring your arms wherever feels best, maybe to the body, maybe out to the sides, maybe overhead if you would like to open up chest and shoulders. Right? But your choice, be sure that whatever you choose doesn't cause too much sensation that you contract and don't breathe, right? So you can adjust, maybe bring something under the legs or the arms to the body. But again, breath is really important. We breathe in, we feel what happens as we inhale. The body might stretch in some new areas. And as you exhale, you're slowly breathing out and relaxing. So this conscious relaxing, kind of letting go of any contraction you find as you breathe out, right? It's a practice, right? So another breath here. And then when you're ready, you can come out of this. Again, a few moments for yourself. And again, you might take a little movement. You might just find stillness. Right? But keeping your eyes closed, again, is really nice just for the brain, for the mind. So when you're ready, your knees will come into the chest. And this time, hands to the kneecaps, but a little bit of movement. So you can rock side to side, or you can circle your knees, but we want to massage around the lower back and the sacrum, around the hips, the glutes even, so you can close your eyes if you like and just do what feels good. I like to work my knees independently, kind of just rocking one knee then the other knee, right? But just massaging this area, really good for mobility, for your fascia that builds up here. It's also good for circulation and lymphatic flow and all kinds of good stuff. So when you're ready, you can come back to the center and then just ground your hands and feet. Right? Take a moment there. And we'll do a few dynamic bridge poses. So you want to bring your feet in close to the buttocks. Arms at your sides, palms face down. As you breathe in, we'll lift the hips up and take the hands overhead so the backs of the hands touch the ground above you. With your exhale, we'll bring the hips and hands down to the ground nice and slowly. We'll do that again. As we breathe in, we're opening up into the front of the hips, all the way into the front, the abs. As you exhale, we would try to roll down one vertebrae at a time, which takes concentration, and it's hard, articulation. Good. Again, we'll breathe in. As we inhale, we'll lift the hips and hands up. We're stretching the front of the body. But as we exhale, we articulate the back body down. Right? It takes, again, this concentration and awareness. Good. Last one like that. You might have your eyes closed. Right? Sometimes we have our eyes open, we don't realize it. But when we close our eyes, we can, again, become more aware of what we feel within the body. Right? So slow exhale as you round all the way down. And then once you're down, just take a breath there. Maybe a cleansing breath where you exhale with an open mouth and then breathe in deep and full through the nose after that. Good. And then we'll bring our knees into our chest. Hands will stay at the sides. This time as you inhale, we'll extend the feet towards the sky, arms overhead. So with the back rounded, this stretches the back body a little bit differently. As you exhale, we'll bring the knees back to the chest, hands down to the sides. We'll do that again. As you breathe in, we'll inhale. We'll kind of flex the feet a bit. So we press into the heels. We stretch the back of the legs and the shoulders. As you exhale, relax your feet, relax your jaws. You tuck your knees back in. Good. One more like that. Nice full inhale. Good. Nice, slow, smooth exhale. And then you can relax your hands and feet down to the ground again in just a moment here, right? Maybe your eyes are closed. What do you feel in your feet, your hands, your legs, your arms, your front, or your back, your head? Good. And then from here, we'll bring the right knee into the chest. And take your hand to your knee or your shin. And then we'll extend the left leg out along the mat. Right? So opening again the hips a bit this way. Just a breath here. You might feel a stretch into the front of the left hip, maybe the right hip. And then we'll add some knee circles. So right hand to your knee, left hand's wherever is comfortable. We'll just open the knee out to the right as you inhale. And then circle it back around as you exhale. And then, again, another breath or two. Circle it out. And then circle it back. One more time. Just feeling the whole way through the circle. Right? It might be a little crunchy areas or little areas with the extra sensation. Good, and then we'll come back to center. And then we're going to come into a twist. So you'll take your left hand to the knee, and then your right arm out to your right side. Shoulder height, palm turned upwards. From here we'll breathe in, and then guide the knee to the left as you breathe out, coming into a twist. And we'll stay here for a few breaths. So you likely might be contracted in your hands or your right shoulder or your neck or your jaw, so we just try to soften there. Maybe the foot is tense, or maybe you can relax your leg a bit more. And then the breath, right? It's hard to breathe here, but it's a very valuable, powerful practice. We inhale deep, we feel the body stretch and open into new areas. And then we exhale more slowly, right? So a slower exhale, and we relax as we breathe out. So any contraction the body might be holding and carrying around, right? We kind of let it flow out. Consciously move it out with the exhale. Good. Last breath in your twist. And then you can come out of the twist, and again, a few moments for yourself. You might find stillness. You might take a little bit of movement. Right? You might keep your eyes closed and just feel what happens, right? The sensations, and knowing that this is really healthy for body and mind. When you're ready, we'll bring both knees into the chest again. And you might come back to a little bit of that circling or rocking side to side, and massaging around the lower back and hips. Good. And then you can lower the hands and feet down. This time we'll bring the left knee into the chest, hands to the knee or the shin, and then we'll extend the right leg out along the mat. In just a moment here, you can pull the knee in more if you like. You can maybe flex or point the toes, just feeling what happens in that right side. And then we'll do some circles with the knee. So left hand to the knee, right hand wherever's comfortable. And we'll guide the knee out as we inhale, and then guide it back as you exhale. So a few more times, and again, you might close your eyes. And try to get a full range of motion in your hip. Feel all the different sensations as you rotate around. Right? There'll be different things. You're just kind of really curiously exploring through these areas. And then we'll come back to center. And this time we'll take the right hand to the left knee, so opposite hand to knee. Left arm opens out to your side, shoulder height, palm turned upwards. And we'll breathe in here and then take your knee to your right as you breathe out, coming into your twist. And likely you're contracted. Right? This is normal, but it's unhealthy. Right? So our practice is to, again, come into body. You might close your eyes. You might check in with the jaw, the shoulders, the hands, the feet, and core. And then this breath practice. Right? We consciously breathe the body, and we kind of exercise our body in this breathing practice. Right? Steady rhythm helps to kind of calm the body, but then the longer exhale, right, does some really powerful work. And when you're ready, you can come out of your twist, and just a few moments for yourself, maybe stillness, maybe movement, maybe both notice what you feel. Good, and then we'll bring our knees to our chest again, hands to the kneecaps, and again, we'll come back to our Apanasana. So as you inhale, we just straighten the arms. And then as you exhale, we bend the elbows, bring the knees to your chest. So it's not core work, right? It's just gentle work. We'll inhale, the arms straighten, the knees move away. And then as you exhale, we just gently bend the elbows, knees come to chest. Okay, one more time like that. Feel what happens in your hips as you're moving. Keep your feet relaxed, your jaw relaxed. Good, and then this time we'll inhale and take the knees away. And then bring just your right knee back as you exhale. So you'll bend your right elbow, right knee comes back. And then you'll straighten that right arm, take both knees away as you breathe in. And then we'll switch. Left side comes back as you exhale. And then we'll just repeat this. As you inhale, we take both knees away. As you exhale, the right knee comes back. And as you inhale, we'll take the right knee, straighten both arms. And then exhale, bend the left elbow, the left knee comes back. It's a little brain work, a little contralateral movement. So last time, we'll do the right side. We'll inhale, take that right side away. And then as you exhale, you'll bring the left side in. And then as you inhale, you'll take both knees away. And then bring both knees back as you exhale, just to kind of finish up. And then we'll bring both feet to the ground. Arms to the sides, and then just a moment of stillness. And you feel the energy in your arms, your legs, your hands, your hips, your back, your front. Good. And then full body stretch. So extend your legs out along the mat and take your arms overhead. Very nice full stretch here. Good. And then we'll bend the elbows kind of like goalpost arms. Right? So the palms are facing the sky, just to open up into your chest and your heart space a little bit more. Right? Try to relax the backs of the shoulders to the ground, the backs of the hands to the ground. Release any contraction in the throat or the chest, maybe the belly. Good. And then if you like, you can add the hips back in, returning to the Supta Baddha Konasana like we did before. But again, not necessary. We'll just do 2 more breaths. And just trying to get some openness in the heart and the chest space, option for the hips as well. Okay, 1 more breath here. Good, and then we'll bring the soles of the feet back to the ground, bring the elbows back into the sides. And then you might just kind of swish your knees side to side here. Okay, your feet might be a little bit wide. Swishing the knees side to side, allow the pelvis to rock a bit. You might feel a stretch in the lower back or in your hips or even in the outside of the legs. Good, and then we'll bring our knees back to center and then back into the chest 1 more time. And we might continue that rocking of the fascia work where you rock or circle your knees. Again, massaging the lower back here, massaging around your sacrum, massaging around even the glutes or, I keep saying today, sorry, that's annoying. But massaging in the lower back and the hips and the glutes. Good, and we'll finish with I keep saying it. We'll finish with a happy baby pose. So your knees will come out wide towards your armpits, and then we'll open the feet up towards the sky. You can reach maybe for your feet, or for your ankles, or for your calves, or just behind the knees. but try to stay grounded in your spine, right, in the back. So sometimes we lift our head and shoulders up, and we don't really want to do that today. We want to relax the head and shoulders down. Your hands might slide down the legs more, and then you may rock a bit side to side here, and you just feel the massage in the back, maybe up more in your shoulders or in the middle back space here. Right, but 2 or 3 more breaths, and you don't have to rock, but sometimes that kind of helps to massage the back, but also gets a little bit more mobility in the hips as you kind of pull one knee down or the other knee down. Right, maybe another breath here, in slowly. Again, out more slowly. And then you can release, coming out of your happy baby pose. And another moment for yourself. And we'll be coming into our Shavasana next, which is our final resting pose. But if you would like to add in anything more, a different twist, a different hip stretch, or anything else that you would like to finish up your practice, you're welcome to add that in. I will give you the cues for Shavasana so you know where to go when you're ready. And you're welcome to head there now or add in anything more. I sit up so that I maintain awareness and we don't all fall asleep, but your job is to lay down on your back. Right? Legs extend out a little wider than hip distance. Right? Arms come to the sides, a little bit of space between the arms and the ribs. Feet maybe a little wider, toes roll out. However, if that's uncomfortable in your lower back, you might bend your knees, ground into your feet, and draw the knees together. Right? But we want to be comfortable. Arms, again, at the sides. You might tuck your shoulder blades under a bit so that the heart and chest space is open. Right? But again, comfort's key. Right? Allow your eyes to close. Allow your breath to just fall into its own rhythm. Right? We no longer control the breath anymore. We did that on purpose throughout our practice to kind of prepare ourselves for our Shavasana. But now in Shavasana, we go for effortlessness. Right? And this is in body. So we scan our bodies and we look for any areas of contraction. And we just relax the jaw, relax the neck, relax the chest, relax the upper back, relax the arms, the hands, relax the lower back, relax the belly, relax the hips, the legs, the feet, the toes. And then we want to also relax mentally. And the attention may wander back into the mind or into the future, into the past. And when we notice that, know that it's normal, right? But know that it's also unhealthy at times. So consciously send your attention back into body. Notice what you can feel. Right? Maybe your heart beating. Maybe some contraction, again, that you can relax. Right? Maybe you can feel some really good energy swirling about within your body. Right? Maybe you can feel the breath as it moves in and out on its own. Right? But wherever your attention wanders to, guide it back. Come back into just feeling. Come back into just being here. Right? Nothing more. few more moments where you are. And bringing your awareness now into your heart space, and just feeling into your heart space. Maybe intentionally kind of breathing in and out of this heart space, and feeling that as you inhale, this heart space expands and gets larger. And as you exhale, maybe you just feel like relaxing or resting in this heart space. And just a few more moments here, holding your awareness, your attention in your heart space. And as you inhale, filling the space expand and grow and get larger. And as you exhale, again, maybe just resting in this heart space. And one more breath where you are. Good. And then you can slowly begin to bring movement back into your body. You may be wiggling into your fingers and your toes, your hands, your feet, your arms, your legs. You can take your time, but when you're ready, you can bend your knees and make your way to lie on either side in the fetal position. Just taking a moment on your side there. Noticing how you feel once again. And when you're ready, you can press back up to seated. Bring our hands together at our hearts once you're there. No rush to get there, but once you're there, you can bring your hands together at your heart. And maybe closing your eyes again and just again holding your awareness in this heart space. And our minds are useful, right? Very, very useful, but often they're overpowering. So we need to find balance between our minds and our heart space. So again, just checking in with both, finding that balance. So I thank each of you so much for your practices. Namaste.